Okay, so this is like the first, or this is the beginning of the trailer and boat build, and we've just wheeled the trailer in behind me. I've kind of dismantled the cross members here. So it's a 5 meter Dumbia trailer, and we're gonna repaint it, vamp it up. So first things first with the trailer, take off the remaining rollers and dismantle all of this stuff. So we're gonna be placing a little bit there, and we're going to be using that as a template for the one that rusted out there. So another thing that you can do when you're dismantling all this stuff is take a photo of it before you dismantle it, so that you know where to put everything back when it's been all fixed up and everything. And that's what I've done. Now we just need to pull these off. So now it's all disassembled. We can now cut out this cross member. So here's a little way that I test how bad the rust is. It might just look like, you know, a bit of surface rust, but if you hammer it, you can see that it's weak as.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey as you fade away.
So we've now removed the cross member and sort of ground it back with the grinding bit there to make it all flush. And there's basically our template. We can see just how rusted it is. Well, if you excuse the noise of the tractor over there, I'll explain sort of what I've been doing with the chain here. Their new regulation with how the chain attaches to the chassis has changed since this trailer was put together. Now, the old way was down like that, and their new regulation is it has to be kind of midway up, facing forward. And the reason for that is if it's down like this and for some reason this pops off and the trailer falls on the concrete, apparently the theory is that this chain will hit the concrete and it will all ground out, and then the boat and the trailer will fall off. The new regulation being here, it'll fall and this will get all ground out, but it won't disconnect from your vehicle. I think also with this size of trailer you need 2 chains. So instead of one there, I'm going to need one on each side welded in the same spot. So that's what we've done there. We've ground off the old chain, ready for the new chain to be welded. And we do need to get another one of these chains.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to grey.
Alright, so we're back working on the trailer again today. It's absolutely pouring rain, like crazy. Tarantulas right now. And we're going to do the cross members on the trailer. We've got the template there, and we've got some fresh, brand new steel, not rusted, brand new stuff. So we're going to cut them, weld them up, and put the cross members on the trailer today. That's the plan. If we can just even hear me while it's pouring out there.
A little bit lacquer, that one, it should be on that side of there. Either side, because you can do either side.
We cut that out.
You can go ahead and cut that out. You can cut it out square. The squarer you make it, the easier it'll be to join it.
Okay, so we've got the cross member in front of me, we've bent it, and it's now come time to see if it matches the template, and if not, we will have to make some adjustments to it. But it's quite satisfying cutting out the little triangles and then bending it. It's really easy to bend. And I'll kind of show you what I did. So you can see there that the only thing connecting these two pieces together is this bottom here, and what we've done is we've cut a triangle, and we cut that triangle out all the way around, and then you basically just leave the bottom piece, and then it's able to be bent. And we've done that on both sides, and now we just have to cut the angle down, and we'll get that from our template. Okay, so the work that we're going to do on the structural side of things with the trailer is now complete. The cross members have been welded in and painted with like a cold gouache, and we've added these little triangular strengtheners on as well, just to add some extra strength, just like the front ones there. And everything's been replaced. Another thing that we did is added these chains, like they're basically just a chain link with a cutout, so that we can put our brake line up inside of there, and that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to take a lot to bounce that out on either side of the cross member there, and that's just going to hold the brake line above the bottom line of this, and it'll also hold it level all the way across to the brakes over there. So that's another thing we did, painted that as well. Also came to the front here, ground off the welding leftover stuff on that and gave it a paint. Added a rated D shackle on both sides as well. And it's now come time to basically lift off the main part of the trailer, like the whole chassis and everything, like all this stuff here, whatever you want to call that. Lift that off, and then we can dive into the axle and brake shoes and rotors and springs and whatever else is hiding in there that we don't know. Also pull off the mud guards and start attacking the rust on the parts inside of there. So just as a quick comparison, these are the two rusted cross members, completely rusted out, and they are the brand new cross members with fresh steel. Okay, so to remove the main thing off the trailer here, main part of the trailer off, like the axle and all that, we're going to need to remove these sort of D-bolts here, and they are seized on there with some serious rust and corrosion. And I've tried to get them off before and it's really tricky, so I got this special penetrant. It's WD-40, it's like a specialized version of it, and it's supposed to help get nuts off that are seized on there. So we're going to use this stuff, see if it helps, and we'll see if we can get these nuts off. Okay, so we did manage to get those D-bolts off, and we'll chuck them out and get some new ones. And we kind of flipped up the main part of the trailer up on its side here so that we can get to this part of the trailer. This is what we're going to be working on today. And I think probably the best place to start would be to take off the mud guard and then the springs and the stuff that holds on the main part of the trailer here. So we're going to have to take off these bolts, and then we'll take off the wheels and rims and brakes and rotors and all of that sort of stuff after that. So let's get onto it. Okay, so to remove the mudguard parts, it's really easy. All you had to do was, once you take the bolt out of here, you just lifted it up and slide it forward. So to put it back on, you just slide it into the springs here and then drop it onto that nut piece and it should be good to go. So it's pretty easy to remove those. I can actually salvage the bolts and the nuts on them because they're not in too bad condition. But as for this, it's going to need a huge amount of rust killing done to it. Okay, so we've removed the springs and basically everything else, but I'm just going to take a couple of measurements. I've actually written them down there on the stone, and that is the next time where this will be situated. Now, I believe it was 6.5 when I measured it. So yeah, so it'll be roughly about there, 6.5 off that, same with the other side. And then that measurement there is from the springs to the plate. Yeah, very greasy, I have to admit. I get very greasy hands from doing that. Seems like the wheel bearings are okay. Got no jiggle, no slop. Spins all right. Same with this side. As you can see, where the brake's gone, this is absolutely rusted out like crazy. Believe they call that a rotor, but I'm not exactly too sure. It's like a disc brake sort of thing. That might need replacing, but we'll see if we can salvage it ourselves. Save the cost of buying a new one. But yeah, we'll keep going, keep disassembling things. Okay, so I've also just come to a realization that I can't take that wheel casing off without taking the actual wheel off. So that's our next big thing, is actually taking this off. So I kind of wasn't going to film this because I thought this wouldn't be too interesting, but this is part of the boat, the trailer restoration. So these are the little brake pads, and they just go down inside of there, 2 of them, inside the shoe, and that little compartment goes in there. Some spiders and whatnot. And I'm half wondering whether to replace these particular parts for a few reasons. One being, it's tricky to grind a surface like that to get it back to a new surface, and 2, just because it's really rusty and corroded. Definitely, even if we don't replace the shoe, we're going to replace the brakes. Another thing that you could do is get these sandblasted and then repainted. But because there's so many working pieces, paint would rub off, and really it's something that could be replaced. So I'm going to look into it, suss out the cost of it, and see whether we'll replace it or not. Otherwise we can vamp it up and make it look new again if we have to. Here's the undercoat, Rust Guard, quick dry. It's an edge primer, and we'll just give this a mix up, and then we'll pour it in, and then quickly give everything another coat, and then the arm that sticks out the front a coat as well. Probably that's all I'm going to do today because I'm feeling pretty rooted. I'm getting caught a cold or something, but yeah, we'll get into that. There's actually not much of this left, so it'll be interesting to see if we'll make it stretch over the whole trailer. Okay, so I've done the second base coat, second layer of base coat on the trailer, and it's starting to look really good now. And I'm basically just going to let this dry and call it quits for the day. I will come back maybe tomorrow or the next day and try and sort out jockey wheel and a bunch of other things as well that need rust treatment done to.
Okay, so it's now come time for the top coat of paint, and I'm going to be doing 2 layers of this top coat. This is the paint here that I've chosen to go with. It's a quick dry hammered paint, anti-corrosive finish, which is what we want for the salt water, and I have a few recommendations of what to use this paint for on the back, and trailers was one of them. So that's the paint we're going to be going with today, and we'll give this a quick stir up with this Milwaukee drill here. And we'll just chuck a new one. What I've been doing is just replacing a new one of these every single time I paint. They're super cheap, and it's mainly just because I'm too lazy to be cleaning off these every single time I paint. So I just put a new one on every time, just buy a big pack. Okay, so it's now come time to put the top and final layer of paint on the trailer, and then we can flip the trailer over and then do the underside, which we haven't done yet. And it's getting pretty exciting. We're nearly finished the painting side with the trailer now, or at least the main part of it. Still got to get a few other pieces sandblasted, treated for the rust and whatnot. Okay, so for the most part, we use the roller. It works pretty good for most everything, but there is some sections on the trailer where the roller just can't access, and it's just too difficult to use the roller to get the best product possible. So we're going to be using this paintbrush here, and this is just going to help us get in little places where the roller can't, and still end up with a good finish. So we'll be using the paintbrush today for the final top coat. Okay, so we've painted the whole trailer with the roller in all the areas that we could do, and now we're just going to go ahead and paint with the brush now. It's a really nice brush, not expensive, maybe 10 bucks, 12 bucks, 15 max, a decent brush. That'll do the trick. And just get the paint on your brush. And then the paintbrush is going to do these pieces in here that you just can't do with the roller. Now I do find that the roller has the best end outcome in terms of the hammered look. But as the paint dries, it will self-hammer no matter what you decide to put the paint on with, whether it's by brush or by roller. So as long as you just get an even thickness and evenly spread, it will kind of self-hammer and the streaks of the paint will disappear. Okay, so we've now flipped over the trailer and we can now do the bottom. I've already started grinding back some of the rust here, and there's very minimal rust. It's only a little bit of corrosion up that end on the galvanizing. And then we can paint it with the undercoat and finish the paintwork on the actual, I guess, main part of the trailer. The other thing we're going to try and do today is grind all the rust off the mudguards, because they're metal mudguards, and figure out what we're going to do with that. But I'm going to quickly dive in and sand and grind back all of this bottom, and then we'll paint it. Finished grinding back the trailer, and I'm going to start working on these. The problem is trying to figure out how to grind in there, and I think that's where we're going to Okay, so I've cleaned the mudguards up as best as I possibly can. I've been doing all sorts of crazy things to try and get the rust out of certain areas where the grinder won't get, and I'm going to clean this off of all the dust now, and we'll give it a coat of paint, and we'll also clean off the main trailer and give that a coat of paint too. Whew. That was not easy. Okay, so we've now painted the tops of the mudguards and all the bottom of the trailer here with the undercoat, and we've just sort of laid these over now, and I'm going to paint all inside and all inside underneath this one as well. Started to bust up and rain apparently, so moved everything indoors, had everything out there originally, and it went from sun to just completely pouring rain, so it's a bit of a bust up. Okay, so it's the next morning and all the paint has dried nicely, and I figured I'd get up nice and early and put on the top coat of paint for the mudguards and for the trailer. Depending on how quickly it dries, maybe put on the like wheel hubs onto the axle. So get started and see what happens.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
So I just finished the final layer of paint on the trailer and on the mudguards, and Also took off where the winch was and gave that a paint as well. And it's looking pretty damn good. And I'm looking forward to putting it all back together and seeing how it looks then too. Okay, so today's job on the trailer is grinding back the rest of the remaining rollers and sorting out possibly some of the braking system as well. Doing another top coat. I think the final coat of paint on the mud guards and the stuff that holds the winch. So we'll get onto that. Okay, so the weather's starting to bust up again. So I've had to come inside, but I'm gonna leave it now. I've ground back everything else there is to grind on the trailer now. These are all the rollers. Pulled them all apart, ground off all the rust on them. A couple of brackets there, a few more brackets. There's still a little bit more to do in terms of grinding just on these pieces. But apart from that, these are all done, ready for painting. But because of the moisture, I'm just going to cover this up so that I don't get any more surface rust. And then they're just all ready to go for tomorrow for the painting. Okay, so it's the next morning and I've kind of just woken up. But I thought I'd get stuck in super early and finish off the grinding so that we can start the painting. And maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get 2 coats on today. So that's the plan. I'll get stuck into the grinding, quickly finish off those parts, and then we'll get stuck into the painting. Got a little friend here helping me paint. Yeah. Little pied butcher bird. I've painted them and now I'm flipping them over. I'm going to paint the other side. Those ones have been painted all around. And now I can go and flip these over as well. Paint on the other side of them. And then it should be all done. So the second coat of paint on all of the rollers has been done. I'll probably end up doing this tomorrow, but if not, late this afternoon. I'll give it a couple of hours to fully dry, and then I'll give it the top coat, or its first top coat of paint, of the hammered silver. And I've also done underneath this tarp here, I've painted the chains and the front part of the trailer there, and that's just covering up from the rain. It's been so much rain lately, like so much rain. Okay, so trailer parts and whatever in Crumman. Just hooked me up with these lights, winch, and some grease, wheelbarrow grease. Good stuff. Okay, so today we're going to be assembling the wheel hubs onto the axle, and we've gone through a bit of a process here. We've unpackaged it all and kind of sorted out what we need to do. So we've packed these bearings, wheel bearings here, full of this grease that we got from the trailer place in Crumman. Really nice people who work in there, great shop. Now we just got to put the bearing in here, and first of all we're going to stuff this all full of grease. Put some grease up inside of there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. We're kind of winging it here as well because I kind of got to remember how to put this all back together. Grab the big bearing, looks like. That's right. Put your bearing in there. Should be able to stuff all the inside with more grease, so it's kind of gross, but big glob of grease, and just go stuff the inside with it. I believe that cap goes on, but we'll clean our hands off. So there's a metal cap, and there's a little rubber that goes inside of it. Take the rubber out for a sec, and the cap just goes straight on top of there. But we'll probably put a little bit more grease in, just a little bit more. So now we put this cap in. I think it's just a click in thing. Okay, update. Rubber mallet and a block of wood to span from here to here. One knockdown, it got in pretty easy. Yeah, so that rubber goes in there like that. Okay, again, big blob of grease and grease inside of here. And we can put our bearing in there, which is the smaller bearing. And then that just goes in like that. In there. Okay, so we've got a couple of options here in terms of the end cap that goes on here after, obviously, the bolt has to go on and the split pin and all that first. But as to the way we finish this off, the old way was this big thing here, and this is got a grease nipple on it. So it means you can grease your tyres, and that just goes in there, and then a rubber cap goes over the top. They supplied these, but that doesn't work with mine. So probably not going to be using these because it means I'd have to take out all the old grease and degrease them and whatever. So I'll just be using the ones they supplied, and they just go over like that. So just stick with them for now, but we do have this option as well if you wanted to. The rest of it can just go on that. Should go on then. There we go. Nice. On like that. So the nut goes on. Tight-ish. So I believe you just do it up till tight and then you just bring it back slightly. And then you get your split pin, just goes down into there, like that. And then you can bend those back up. Painting your surfboard. That's all done. No, nothing more to do on that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we've kind of got this in place now, and sitting where we want it to, and all that sort of thing. So now we just got to tighten it up. Get it on pretty firmly. So mudguard, it's pretty simple. Slides on there. And then that goes bolt. It's bolted on. It's hard to see doing it with one person. Now that we have grease, I don't see why we don't use some of this. So grease this up again. Certainly wouldn't hurt. Grease up some of these. So it's this big square one first. This big square nut. And then it's this Nylex nut, which probably could use replacing, but still in decent condition, so we'll just leave it for now. So this Nylex one, that goes on the outside to hold it all together. And that's going to need something. Pretty firm. That should now be pretty damn solid. I think it's come time to put the wheels on this thing and see if we can get this compartment on the ground. It's getting heavier and heavier by the minute, and almost too heavy for me to be able to lift off. So I think we'll get to putting the wheels on. Now I still have the old wheels, I haven't got new ones yet. Okay, so for some reason there's this weird like shuttering issue with this GoPro at the moment, but we have got this off the stand somehow with a broken back. The axle is finally on wheels and mudguards again, so I do have to replace these rims and tires on this trailer for it to be able to pass. And the springs are good. They look dirty, but once I degrease them, it'll look all nice again. It's just covered in a bunch of weird dust. We still have to put the brakes on, but we won't do the brakes today because I just don't think we have enough time, and we need to actually go and source some of the brake shoes in order to be able to put it back together. So some brand new ones, because they're a bit rusted as well. But apart from that, we did manage to flip this whole trailer over as well by myself. Another big mission, because that's like a lot heavier than this. But we also got a big jockey wheel there that was spare in the shed, so we might use that because that's more of a four-wheel drive one than the older one, and it's not rusty, so that could be the go there. I think now we're just going to try and get the trailer back on top of this again. We managed to get the chassis sort of thing onto the trailer where it's supposed to sit. I don't know about the measurement here or where this is going to sit in line with that axle, so I'm going to have to go down, check the phone, watch back on some of the videos of us taking this apart, and then I'll get a measurement and maybe go down to the trailer shop and get some U-bolts, some brand new ones, because I believe the ones in there are a little too rusty to use again, or at least on this nice trailer. Oh, it looks so much better now. Yeah, I'll go get that measurement and we'll see if we can put some U-bolts on this. Also, I have started assembling some of the rollers, as you can see here, and they are looking pretty nice. I do need to go get some split pins to put the rollers on, and a few more 50mm U-bolts, because I didn't get quite enough, because I believe they ran out when I was there last. And here is the back of the trailer's last cross member, and a piece from here to here had rusted out, and we actually had the piece. So that bit had rusted out, so we just replaced it with some more thick 50mm box section, welded it, treated the rust for this whole piece, and then painted it with a base coat, 2 coats of base coat. So this is what I've been using to treat the rust on the trailer. Bondall Renix Rust Buster, it's pretty good stuff. And then we have a sort of base coat, which is rust inhibiting and protecting barrier, so that's going to help with the rust as well, and also preventing any more from happening. That's about 50 bucks. This is about like $25. And then we got the top coat, and you can get whatever you want for top coat, but I kind of went with this, and it's actually anti-corrosive finish, and it's a hammered metallic finish. So there's kind of what it looks like there. It's a silver. There was a charcoal as well, but I thought silver would be more generic for a boat trailer. And then we got some paint brushes. That was $100 or $110 or something. That was like $4 for a pack of 2, and these are like $8 or something. Got a couple of them. And then we got a tray for the paint as well. That was like $2. So all in all, we spent like $214, and so far, not bad. Okay, so we went to the trailer place, and we're back working on the trailer again. Something that I did do from last time is I put this piece that we made up on we welded a new end to it, and that's just put on with a bolt there. And then we went down today and bought a whole bunch of U-bolts so we can tie this down and get this all finished. And in here, new brake calipers, so we'll be putting them on as well. Update, we have gotten these U-bolts all tightened up and fastened on there now. They should be super strong. It's all held down in the right place and everything like that. But as I'm assembling everything, I'm realizing that there's pieces here. I've got no idea where they come from or where they go. So, bit of a mystery. Still haven't figured out, even from watching back on the videos, I still can't figure out where they go. So if I end this video and still don't know and post it, comment down below if you've noticed where these came from somewhere through the build, because I don't. Last but not least, we have put the whole winch compartment on, so required 2 U-bolts at the bottom, one on each side, a couple here as well. But these ones needed some spacers. So, because the thread didn't go all the way through to the other side. So we got some spacers there and put them on. And we also got a brand new boat winch, 650 kilo. But we've run into another issue with this boat winch because it's slightly different brand. It's got a different way. The handle works slightly different. So you can see here, we've run into some trouble. So that's fine. What I might end up doing is just taking off this, because that's not 100% necessary, and just have the bolt in the middle, and that should solve that problem. I think it still looks pretty clean, no problems there. And now we do get full function with this. It's a bit tight at the moment for some weird reason. There we go. But now we get full swing of that, no issues. That's all sorted out now. We're going to work on the trailer lights, which is going to be a mission. So, get a plug and the kit. So here's the lights, and they've got one for the number plate there on the bottom. And it looks like they're already all wired up into there, which is great. Comes with all of this, suitable for up to, I think, suitable for up to 10 meters. So this is definitely not, this is about half that. So we're gonna have a lot of leftover cable, but that's fine. At least we don't have to solder into that. So that's half the work done already. Now we just need to run the lines, and we're going to do them inside because the old ones were done inside as well. So I guess to be able to pull them through, we may have to tie onto that. So it could be a bit of a mission. Okay, so the line runs through here for the old one, and it's actually bigger and fatter than the new power lead is. Not by much. So this is the old one, this is a new one. Slightly bigger, this old one. What I've done is I've duct taped them together, and I'm going to pull it through because it's going to be too hard to just push it through by itself. So I'm going to pull it. Fucking tangled. Oh, this is a nightmare, dude. Here it is. Got the new cable here. So it turns out I had to pull it all the way back through again because the light cable, I was stupid, comes out the back and it needs to go through that hole first. So that was a bust up. I'm just figuring out the positioning of where I want the trailer light on this too, because it could come out that hole if I want it to be higher. But I think I'm gonna actually just put it there. in that position. Yeah, it looks pretty good. He's in the shed. Yeah, he is. Okay, so it's actually been about probably like 3 months since I've worked on this trailer. It's been quite a while. I've had a couple of trips, like holidays and stuff, going to other countries. Doesn't matter. Anyways, we're back here and we're gonna work on the trailer again. We've got some spare time on our hands, and the first thing we're gonna pick up from where we left off was fixing up the brakes for the trailer. Putting on our new brake calipers that we got from the trailer shop, and we're also going to be connecting up our trailer lights to the plug, and I'll show you why that's a little bit tricky in a few seconds here. So here's the new calipers, looking very nice and shiny there. Okay, so first things first, to get our brake caliper on, we need to actually remove the wheel again, so that we can get in behind there to put it on. I don't think we have to do anything else, hopefully. So we're going to remove the wheel and see if we can get that all connected up. Okay, so we just got the wheel off and we put the nuts in that bag down there. And now we can access the axle and where the brake's going to be clamping onto. And now you can get your bolts and just put them in those holes that I was showing you before. So we just put it on there, and seems like the fit is a bit different, I guess, to the previous brake caliper, but we're just gonna play around with it for a bit and I'll get back to you guys when I've figured it out myself. Yeah, so I've just got it on, figured out how to do it, and you can see here that the bolt is actually sitting on like a shaft, which is longer, but if you tighten it up, it like expands the shaft out so that the actual caliper won't move. So I've put it on there, I've tightened it up pretty firm. Like, you could go tighter, but it's like, I'm not like gorillaing it on there. It's just nice and tight, not going anywhere. This still spins, obviously, and then as that pulls, that's gonna engage the two pads there. Now we'll just put the wheel back on and do the same to the other side. Okay, so this side has also been done, and we'll also put the tire and rim back on there as well, and then we will sort out the cables and also a little plug here as well. Okay, so now we're up to connecting up our wires to the plug, and you might be wondering why I've got a yellow tape on one of them, and that's because I want to know which side is which. So this yellow tape means the left side of the trailer, and it's also got a yellow tape on the left side up there, just so I know that the yellow tape one is the left side. Let's run all the way up to the front here, so just so I know, and I don't get confused, because that's going to be quite important with connecting up this to your plug. So another confusing thing is there's multiple different colors. So you've got white, brown, red and yellow on both sides. And what I didn't realize is they supplied you with where they go in here. So they've got numbers and they say what they are, and if you read it, it'll be like number 1, left signal, number 4 means right signal, there's a bunch of other ones there, but I can hold that there for you guys. This is probably just this one, but, or maybe it's universal, I'm not sure, but there's that if you guys are wondering. And I'm going to be following this. I'm going to be putting the yellow one into number 1. That's our first thing, and that is that one there. So it looks like you have to undo that screw and chuck the yellow in there as well. Alright guys, so I made a huge mistake and I didn't put this like screwy thing on first, so I had to like unplug all of these, and it just takes forever. So that was like a half an hour mistake, but I think I finally figured out, you know, how to get it all together, and I've put that on now, and I've kind of joined them, because you have to join 2 into one, and it's just so tricky. So we're gonna see if it all fits together now. Fingers crossed, and we'll see if this all goes together. So we've finally got this all together here. It's not the most professional work you've ever seen, but it should do the trick. And yeah, looking pretty cool. So now we're just going to connect this up to the car, double check everything works, and then we can move on to doing the hitch. Okay, so I'm just testing out the wiring, and you can see here that it works. That's just the brake lights. And this is the number plate light in perfect working order. Now we'll just check both blinkers, see if they're working. Okay, so it's been a super long time. I've had so many little other projects going on, but we're here today and we're pretty much done the trailer, so we're going to finish it off. And we just went and hopefully did our last trip to the trailer shop and got the rest of the U-bolts, bolts, and we did get some like zinc, like rust spray sort of stuff to spray the rims and also spray the hitch as well. We forgot to get degreaser. I just thought of it just then, but we might be able to sort that out, whatever. So we're just going to get into it and try and get this all finished off. Okay, so every time I film this trailer video, it rains without a shadow of a doubt. It's so strange. We've gotten this far. I think we're doing everything right so far. We're gonna put the wheels on, obviously. And we've got to here, and I finally figured out what these brackets were meant for. So if you remember somewhere in the middle of the video, I painted them and then I was like, wait, where the frig they go? I can't find it. And we were assembling the actual trailer itself. And I couldn't figure out what they were. I nearly threw them out. I'm glad I didn't. So stupid of me. Because they're literally the brackets holding on the first roller. So, and I also didn't know why I bought these, and it's for them. So I had a complete mental wipe and just forgot that what they were for. Alright, so it's now come time to put the wheels on the trailer, and the way you do that is you kind of just slide them on and put the split pin in to stop them from coming out again. It's very easy, but a little tip that I was shown at the trailer shop to actually put the wheels on without having to, like, because these are quite long, you can't really get them in, told me that I have to actually bend these slightly. So a little tip for you guys, when you're putting your split pins or whatever on your trailer, is to get them. And if you've got a vise, or you kind of need a vise for this, not gonna lie. Get a vise and line a whole bunch of them up. So you give them a slight bend like that, and then they'll be able to feed in a lot easier. Alright, so to put the wheel on, it's pretty easy. You just get your wheel, slide it on there. There's a washer. This one's a little rusty, obviously, but it just helps to put a little washer on there. And then you just grab one of your split pins that you've bent, and then you can see why it'd be hard to get it in there if it wasn't bent, because if it was straight it just wouldn't work. So if you put it in bent, it goes in like cheese. So then you just split this open with a pair of pliers or screwdriver or something like that, and bend these. That's what you got to do, and then that'll stop it from coming off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to the whole trailer. What do you think, Donnie?
I think we pack up for the day.
So there was a missing wheel the whole time. We were like trying to find it for ages, but I just remembered when I was carting it here, when I first got it, there was no wheel there anyway. So I have to get a new wheel, and then we have to paint the hitch with this new paint we got, and then we can attach the brakes and get it on the road, mate. Alrighty, so we've now come to the end of the video. I've noticed that I've lost a bunch of footage off the GoPro. I'm not sure what's been going on with the GoPro. It's had some really shaky footage and stuff like that lately, so I'm a bit pissed off about that. But I thought I'd sit down and share what the end result was anyways, and kind of run through some of the budgeting, how much the actual trailer restoration costs. It ended up costing me $600 to fully restore the trailer. There are a bunch of different routes you could have gone down as to how you restore it. You could have done like sandblasting, you could have gotten it hot dipped. The avenue that I went down was probably the cheapest, grinding off all the rust with the flapper disc, treating it with the rust buster, putting on a base coat, a couple of layers of base coat and a couple of layers of top coat. So basically just hand painting it, and buying all new parts. I bought all new fresh U-bolts. I bought trailer lights. I bought a new winch. I bought new brake calipers. The leaf springs were pretty much brand new as well. And so basically everything was brand new. I've got new wheel bearings. I ended up needing to get new rims and tires because the tires were quite old and the rims were completely rusted. And in the end, everything, it looked brand new. It came out really nice. For all that are still watching, thank you for enduring through 1 hour of this crazy restoration. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.